Hey, what's going on, guys? Cesar Rodriguez here. I'm just in my backyard hanging out. This is as real as it gets. There's dogs barking in the parking lot. I'm just trying to give you here an inside look on exactly what it is that I do to answer objections and how it is that I answer objections. So if you're getting objections in your business, if people are firing questions at you and you're just honestly ready to just get rid of those objections, ready to get down to business, and ready to keep things focused on having them make a yes decision to go ahead and get started, you're about to get a sick training, because what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to bring you inside of my life and my business and share with you a message that just came to me from a guy on my team. Now, this is a guy on my team, and this is all about answering objections. So this is going to be pretty hardcore. Trust me, when you get this mindset and when you adopt this, you're going to be so lethal in the marketplace. Now, again, if you haven't yet been through my course, the Immediate Yes Formula, honestly, that is what you need to go through if you want to get people framed so that you don't even hear objections. I'm talking being able to have a sales process from start to finish, from approach to close, where people make a decision to get started, to join, to buy immediately and without objections at all. Now, if for some reason you happen to miss some of the steps in the formula that I reveal, or you don't have it yet mastered, objections and questions are going to come out. And what you need to know is a proper way to handle them. So I'm just going to give you a little case study here of a question that a guy on my team just shot me. So I'm going to go ahead and take you inside, a little one-on-one coaching. This is how I coach my team, all right? So this guy on my team, great guy, he's totally awesome. He's out of the UK. He hits me up and he says, hey, during my third presentation, a couple of unusual questions came up. And one of them was, do you need to pay taxes after your income? So this is one of the objections or questions that, you know, a guy on my team is now asking me because he wants to get that answer back to his prospect, because that's what his prospect asked him. So here's what I said. I said, all right, this is how I coach my team now. There's no right or wrong way. This is just what I teach. Now, he loved this answer, by the way, and I'm sure you will too, and the mindset behind it. But I said, and I said his name, I said, in every business, you make money and then you pay taxes afterwards. That's actually one of the best parts about being a business owner. You only have to pay taxes on what your actual profit is, so you get to minus out all your expenses beforehand. But what I told him was just in every business, you make money and you pay your taxes afterwards. But here's the thing. If someone says something like that to you and asks you that type of question, what I would have done is I would have said, and I would have asked, I would have said, Mr. Prospect, the only reason that matters, you know, and again, compliment them on their question, you know, be nice. Say, that's a great question, but the only reason why that even really matters is if you actually get in and make money with this. To me, it sounds like you're already assuming you're going to make money with this opportunity if you're asking that type of question. So does this mean that you've made the decision to come on board? All right, so what am I doing? I'm bringing it right back, not even answering that person's questions, because here's the thing. You don't need to know answers to half of the stuff that you think you need to know answers to. What you need to learn how to do is how to bring it right back into what's important, and that's getting them started. Now watch this. If they answer no, they go, no, I haven't yet made the decision to come on board, then I would say, well, then let's go ahead and focus on what it is exactly that's holding you back from coming on board for now, and let's go ahead and concern ourselves with the logistics of how the taxes are paid on all the money you're going to make later. So what is it exactly that you need to know before you got started? What am I doing? I'm going right back into finding the real objection, and that's what most people don't do. You get distracted when your prospects throw all these crazy, ridiculous questions, and they just throw them up in the air and basically make you play fetch with them, and then you fetch them the answer, and it's not even pertinent to them getting involved. This guy could be asking questions right now that, how are the taxes paid? And people will ask intelligent questions. They'll ask questions that sound real intelligent. Tell me about the market saturation in your area. You know, I'm very interested in the statistics and the numbers. And they'll ask you all this crap, and they literally don't even have a bank account. And they can't even get started in your opportunity. So what's important for you to do is to get down to the core. So let's go ahead and continue. So that was just my first message to him. I said, so again, that's what I would say. So let's go ahead and get down to what is exactly that you need to know before you get started. Now, if the prospect then says, and again, this is me coaching him via email here, if they then say, well, I need to know the answer to that question. Well, then again, what would I do? I would qualify that and I'd say, oh, great, awesome. So what you're saying is knowing the answer to that question, you know, regarding the taxes is the only thing that's holding you back from getting started right now. So in other words, if I picked up the phone, contacted my senior partner, which is Mr. Cesar Rodriguez, and I got him on the phone and he answered that question to you to your satisfaction, are you saying then that you'd be ready to get started immediately thereafter? And just smile and just go and wait for them to respond. And what's going to happen is they're now tied down into saying, yeah, that's what I want. Yeah, if I get the answer to that question, then I am ready to get started immediately. So now he's not wasting my time getting me on the phone for a three-way to answer a bunch of questions that aren't even relevant. He's qualifying that, and the prospect is then going to be forced to say either yes, that is the only thing holding me back, or no, I wouldn't be ready to get started immediately. And then what do? You go right back into it and you say, okay, great. Well, then obviously there's still some areas of concern you have. Do you mind if I ask what they are? Obviously, there's still a few things that are holding you back. Do you mind if I ask what they are? Or so what is it exactly that is holding you back? What are we doing? We're getting right down to the meat and potatoes. We're getting right down to the core of the issue. So I coached him again and I said, the key here is getting down to the real objection. Instead of letting your prospects distract you and throw you off track with questions that make you fetch answers for them like you're a dog, only to get back with them with your answer like an eager dog with a stick in your mouth, only to have them say, oh, no thanks. I didn't even really want to play fetch in the first place. I was just going ahead and throwing that stick out there to see if you'd fetch it so that I could get you out of my face for a little while so I could have some alone time. I want you to think about that. That's honestly what most of your prospects are doing to you. You're getting them right there to that point where they're wanting to make a decision, where they're feeling like, oh man, it's decision time. So what do? They start throwing out all kinds of crap, hoping that you're going to play fetch, and they're going to give you some question that warrants you having to run around town, fetch answers for them. Then you come back and they're like, oh, I'm not interested anyway. Or they'll even ask you some more questions, which is even worse. So again, that's what most prospects are doing to you. Keeping it real, that's what they do. Now, he said, obviously, you know, great explanation. You're right. As always, every time I read your words, it sounds so easy. All right, I'm not going to tell you about how great he thought I was for giving you this, giving him this tips. But here's the bottom line. All right, what I want you to do from now on is adopt the focus where everything is about answering and getting down to the real objection. Stop running around like a little dog. All right, stop running around playing fetch with people that are just trying to get you out of their face, because that's honestly what you're doing. You're losing your posture. Bring it right down to the meat and potatoes. Bring it right down to the real objection every single time. And what's going to happen is your prospects are eventually, they're going to have to come up with the real thing that's holding them back. If they ask you a question, say, great question. So let me just real quick before I get into answering that, you know, is there anything else other than that question that you need to know before you get started? Or is the answering to that question going to determine whether or not you get started? And they might say, yeah, that's it, that's the answer. Great. So what is there an answer in particular that you're looking for? I mean, so that way if I do go ahead and I do take the time to find that answer and it's not the answer that you're looking for, and that way I know not to even waste your time. I mean, is there a particular time where you're wanting to have the taxes paid? Do you want them taken out of your check beforehand, or do you want them afterwards? See, the thing is, just ask them these questions and force them to tell you exactly what it is that they need to hear and that they need to do to go ahead and get started. All right, so that's my training on objections. Stop wasting your time. Get down to the meat and potatoes and qualify every objection that you get. And that way, when you are using a third-party expert, if you're on my team and you're using me for that three-way call, and a prospect asks you a question and you say, great, so is the answer to that question, if I could get you the answer to that question, is there anything else that you'd need to know before you get started? No. Is there anything in particular that you'd like to hear that answer be? Is there something that you're hoping for? All right, and then bring it right back. I hope that helps. I'm Cesar Rodriguez. Have an awesome day, and I'm going to tell you something. If you really want to get the core meat and potatoes on how to eliminate objections in the first place, which is what I just prefer to do. I mean, when I sponsor people, typically when I pick up the phone, if I'm going to call someone, they're going to make a decision that day immediately, because I understand the immediate yes formula, and obviously being the creator of it, I have it down packed pretty well. All right. So I highly advise that you pick up that course if you're ever at all serious about your business, you're tired of wasting time getting no's all over the place, and you just want to go ahead and be maximum efficient, get the most amount of yeses and the least amount of, prospects, then go ahead and pick up that course. All right. So it's actually on special right now. You can go ahead and I'll put a link below here in the description so you can go ahead and check it out. All right. I'm Cesar Rodriguez. Hope you enjoyed yourself on this video. Take care and have an awesome day.